At the Grand St. Patrick's Cathedral, Logan Whitmore stood at the altar checking his watch. 45 minutes late. Then a text from his bride. "I can't do this. Don't try to find me." Humiliated, Logan fled, straight into a Brooklyn bar where a no-nonsense bartender named Sam might just change everything. Before we get into the story, comment below where in the world you are watching from today. The majestic St. Patrick's Cathedral was bursting with flowers, champagne, and New York's elite. Logan Whitmore stood at the altar, checking his watch for the third time. His best man Derek patted him on the shoulder. "Relax, buddy, brides are always late, it's tradition." Logan nodded and forced a smile. At 38, he had built an empire in real estate development, transforming the New York skyline with his visionary buildings. Today was supposed to be the crown jewel of his perfect life. Marrying Victoria Ashford, the daughter of one of Manhattan's oldest banking families. The church was filled with over 300 guests, business partners, celebrities, and even 2 senators. The wedding had been featured in all the society magazines as the event of the year. Everything was perfect, except the bride was now 45 minutes late. Logan's mother, Eleanor Whitmore, approached with worry etched on her elegantly made-up face. "Darling, have you heard anything from Victoria? The guests are getting restless. I've texted her." "No answer," Logan said, trying to maintain his composure. "Her maid of honor can't reach her either." As if on cue, Logan's phone buzzed. A text message. From Victoria. "I'm sorry, Logan, I can't do this. I thought I wanted this life, but I don't. Don't try to find me, it's better this way." Logan read the message twice, unable to process the words. The phone slipped from his fingers, clattering onto the marble floor. "Logan, what is it?" Derek asked, bending to retrieve the phone. "She's not coming," Logan said, his voice hollow. "Victoria's not coming." The whispers started immediately, rippling through the cathedral like wildfire. Eleanor grabbed the phone from Derek, read the message, and gasped. "We need to make an announcement," she said, ever practical even in crisis. Logan loosened his tie, suddenly feeling like he couldn't breathe. "You make it, I'm leaving." "Logan, you can't just walk out. What about the guests? What about the reception? We have 300 people waiting." But Logan wasn't listening. He strode down the aisle, past the shocked faces and pitying glances, past the reporters who'd been allowed to cover the ceremony, past everything that represented the humiliation Victoria had just subjected him to. He jumped into his Aston Martin, parked right in front of the cathedral, and sped away, tires screeching against the pavement. He drove aimlessly through Manhattan, his mind blank except for one thought. He needed a drink, not at any of his usual upscale clubs where everyone would know him. Somewhere anonymous, somewhere he could lick his wounds in peace. He ended up in a small, dimly lit bar in Brooklyn, the kind of place he would never normally set foot in. The sign outside simply read, "Murphy's." It was early evening and the bar was mostly empty. Logan slid onto a bar stool, still wearing his wedding tuxedo, though he'd discarded the bow tie in the car. A woman approached from behind the bar. "What can I get you?" she asked, eyeing his formal attire with raised eyebrows. Logan looked up and for a moment was caught off guard. The bartender wasn't what he expected. She had warm brown eyes, wavy dark hair pulled back in a loose ponytail, and a no-nonsense expression. No excessive makeup, no fake smile. Just a direct gaze that somehow made him feel seen in a way that was both uncomfortable and oddly comforting. "Scotch," he said. "Your most expensive bottle. The whole thing." She folded her arms. "We don't sell whole bottles. And judging by your fancy tux and that watch that probably costs more than I make in a year, you look like you've had a rough enough day without me helping you drink yourself into oblivion." Logan was taken aback. People didn't talk to him like that, ever. "I was supposed to get married today," he said, not sure why he was explaining himself to this stranger. "My bride didn't show up." The bartender's expression softened slightly. "That's tough. I'm sorry." She reached for a glass. "I'm still not selling you a whole bottle, but first, drinks on the house." She poured him a generous amount of scotch and slid it across the bar. "I'm Samantha, by the way. Everyone calls me Sam." "Logan. I figured you for a Logan or a Blake or maybe a Prescott," she said, with a hint of a smile. "Despite everything," Logan found himself almost smiling back. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing, just that you scream Manhattan Trust Fund from about a mile away. She nodded toward another customer, signaling from the end of the bar. Drink up, I'll be back. Logan watched her walk away, momentarily, distracted from his heartbreak. There was something refreshingly direct about her. No pretense, no sugarcoating. As the bar slowly filled up with after-work patrons, Logan nursed his drink, then ordered another. Sam came back periodically, sometimes with a quick comment or question, never pushing him to talk but somehow making him feel less alone. So, did you have any clue she was going to leave you at the altar? Sam asked during one of these check-ins, setting down a glass of water he hadn't asked for alongside his third scotch. No, Logan admitted. Everything seemed perfect. We've been together for 2 years. The wedding planning was stressful, but that's normal, right? Last night at the rehearsal dinner, she seemed happy. Sam shrugged. People show you what they want. You to see, especially when there's money involved. She glanced meaningfully at his expensive watch again. You think she was after my money? Logan asked, feeling defensive. I don't know her, so I can't say, but in my experience, people who are truly in love don't bail on their wedding day without any warning signs beforehand. Logan thought about Victoria, about how she'd been increasingly distant in the weeks leading up to the wedding, how she'd been more concerned with the wedding being featured in the right magazines than with their vows, how she'd insisted they needed a prenup to protect her family's money, even though his net worth far exceeded hers. Had there been signs? Had he been too blindly in love or too busy to see them? You might be right, he conceded. Usually am, Sam said with a wink before moving off to serve other customers. As the evening wore on, the bar grew busier. Logan observed Sam as she worked. Efficient, friendly, but not fake, with a quick wit that kept even the rowdier patrons in line. She was nothing like the polished, calculated women of his social circle. There was an authenticity to her that was captivating. By midnight, the crowd had thinned out again. Logan was still there, having switched to water after his fourth scotch at Sam's insistence. Don't you have someone checking up on you? Sam asked as she wiped down the bar. Your phone's been buzzing all night. Logan glanced at his phone. 37 missed calls, 63 text messages. Most from his mother, his brother Justin and Derek. A few from business associates who'd been at the wedding. None from Victoria. They can wait, he said, turning the phone face down. I'm not ready to face any of them yet. Well, I'm closing. Show up in 15 minutes, so you'll need to figure out your next move, Sam said. Logan looked at her, really looked at her for the first time. She was beautiful, but not in the carefully crafted way Victoria was. Sam's beauty was effortless, natural. Do you want to get a coffee? He asked impulsively. Or food? I just realized I haven't eaten all day. Sam raised an eyebrow. Are you asking me out? On what was supposed to be your wedding day? Logan felt a flush of embarrassment. No, not like that. I don't want to be alone right now, and you're easy to talk to. Sam's expression was skeptical. I'm sure you have friends for that. Friends who were at the wedding, who are probably still dealing with the fallout, who'll look at me with pity or ask a million questions I don't have answers to. Logan ran a hand through his hair. You're a stranger. It's easier. Sam considered him for a long moment. There's a diner around the corner that's open 24/7. Their coffee is decent and the pancakes are good. Pancakes sound perfect, Logan said, surprised at how much he meant it. 20 minutes later, they were sitting in a booth at Blue Star Diner. Logan had removed his suit jacket, and with his sleeves rolled up and his collar unbuttoned, he looked almost like a regular guy. Almost. So, Logan. What do you do for a living, Whitmore? Sam said, pouring syrup over her stack of blueberry pancakes. Real estate development, he replied, watching in amusement as she created a small syrup lake on her plate. My company builds commercial properties, mostly in Manhattan. High-rises, office, buildings. One of those guys responsible for all the soulless glass towers replacing the old neighborhood spots. Logan winced. We try to incorporate the character of the neighborhoods into our designs. Sure you do, Sam said, but her tone was teasing rather than truly accusatory. And what about you? Were you born with the silver spoon? Or did you earn those fancy cufflinks? A bit of both, Logan admitted. My father started the company, but I've expanded it significantly since taking over. And the almost bride, what's her story? Logan tensed slightly but answered. Victoria comes from banking. Old money, we met at a charity gala. Very rom-com, Sam commented. So what do you think happened? Cold feet? Someone else? Alien abduction? Despite himself, Logan laughed. Not aliens, as far as I know. Her message just said she couldn't do this and thought she wanted this life but doesn't. Ah, Sam nodded, cutting into her pancakes. Classic, it's not you, it's the life you represent. Scenario. What's that supposed to mean? It means she probably loved the idea of you, successful, handsome, rich guy who checks all the boxes. But when it came down to actually committing to the reality of that life, something didn't sit right. Logan frowned. That doesn't make sense. Victoria loves the social scene, the galas, the lifestyle. Maybe she does, or maybe she just thought she did. Or maybe there's something else going on entirely. Sam shrugged. People are complicated. What about you? Logan asked, wanting to shift the conversation away from Victoria. Have you always been a bartender? Sam's expression became guarded. No, I was in college, art school actually, but had to drop out when my mom got sick. Bartending paid the bills and I stuck with it. I do still paint though, I have a small studio in my apartment. I'd like to see your work sometime, Logan said, then immediately regretted it. I mean, if you ever have a show or something. I don't, Sam said flatly. My stuff isn't gallery material. How do you know if you don't try? Because the art world is as elite and exclusive as your world, just with less money and more pretension. Sam's tone made it clear the topic was closed. Eat your pancakes before they get cold. They fell into comfortable silence for a few minutes, eating their late-night breakfast. Logan was surprised at how normal this felt, sitting in a diner in Brooklyn with a bartender he'd just met, eating pancakes at 1 a.m., when he should have been starting his honeymoon in Bali. Thanks for this, he said suddenly, for treating me like a person, not a headline. Sam looked up, surprised. Is that how people usually treat you? Either like I'm my net worth, or like I'm some character they've created in their minds? Rarely. Just me. Well, I don't know who just you is yet, Sam said. But he seems okay so far. Despite the questionable career choice and obvious terrible taste in women, Logan laughed again, a real laugh that reached his eyes. You definitely don't sugarcoat things, do you? Life's too short for bullshit, Sam said simply. Speaking of which, you should probably deal with all those messages. People are worried about you. Logan sighed, knowing she was right. He pulled out his phone, scrolled through the texts, and sent a brief message to his mother, brother, and Derek, letting them know he was fine and would be in touch tomorrow. As they finished their meal, Logan felt a strange reluctance to end the evening. He hadn't thought beyond escaping the humiliation at the church, hadn't planned what came next. Can I give you a ride home? He offered as they stood outside the diner. Sam shook her head. I'm only a few blocks away. I'll walk. At this hour? I've been walking these streets since I was a kid. I'll be fine. She studied him for a moment. What about you? Where are you going? Logan hadn't considered that. He couldn't face going back to the penthouse he'd shared with Victoria, where all her things would still be. I have an apartment in the company building, he said. I'll go there. Sam nodded. Well, Logan Whitmore, it's been an interesting night. I hope things look better in the morning. They already do, he said honestly. Thank you, Sam. She gave him a small smile. If you ever need pancakes and straight talk again, you know where to find me. As Logan watched her walk away, he felt something shift inside him. The pain of Victoria's betrayal was still there, but it was no longer the only thing he felt. There was also a strange sense of possibility, as if a door had closed only for a window to open somewhere else. He had no idea what tomorrow would bring. For the first time in his carefully planned life, the future was a complete unknown, and somehow that didn't seem as terrifying as it should have. The morning after what should have been his wedding day, Logan woke up in his company apartment feeling surprisingly clear-headed. Last night's scotch had left only a mild headache, and memories of pancakes and honest conversation with Sam had somehow softened the blow of Victoria's betrayal. Reality crashed back when he turned on his phone and saw the headlines. Whitmore. Wedding disaster. Bride leaves billionaire at the altar. Victoria Ashford flees wedding to real estate mogul. Society's wedding of the year ends in humiliation. There were photos of him leaving the church, looking shell-shocked. Photos of confused guests milling around outside. Even a photo of Victoria at JFK Airport, apparently fleeing to Europe. His phone rang. Derek. "You finally decided to answer your phone," his best friend said when Logan picked up. "Your mother is beside herself. Where are you?" "At my apartment in the Whitmore Tower," Logan said. "I needed space." "Well, you might want to stay there. The press is camped outside your penthouse. This story is everywhere." Logan ran a hand over his face. "What are people saying?" "The official line your mother put out is that the wedding was postponed due to unforeseen circumstances. But the gossip is wild. Some say Victoria ran off with her ex. Others say there was a fight at the rehearsal dinner. People magazine is offering 6 figures for Victoria's exclusive." "And Victoria? Any word from her?" Derek hesitated. "She was spotted boarding a flight to Paris last night, alone." Logan felt a fresh wave of pain. She hadn't just left him at the altar. She'd immediately left the country. "I need to issue a statement," Logan said, his business instincts kicking in. "This could affect the company's reputation. Already drafted one for you to approve. I'll email it over. Your mother wants you to come to the house for brunch. The family needs to present a united front." Logan sighed. "Tell her I'll be there in 2 hours." After showering and changing into fresh clothes, Logan checked his emails. The draft statement was suitably vague. "Mr. Whitmore confirms that his wedding to Ms. Ashford did not proceed as planned. He asks for privacy during this difficult time and remains focused on his business endeavors." He approved it with a single-word reply. "Fine." The next email made him pause. It was from Victoria. "Logan, I know my actions yesterday were unforgivable. I should have had the courage to speak with you before things went so far. The truth is, I realized I was marrying you for all the wrong reasons. Security, status, my family's expectations. You deserve someone who loves you for yourself, not what you represent. I've gone to Paris to stay with my cousin for a while. Please don't try to contact me. I truly am sorry for the pain I've caused." Victoria. Logan stared at the email, feeling a strange mix of anger, hurt, and, most surprisingly, relief. Sam's words from last night echoed in his mind. Classic "it's not you, it's the life you represent" scenario. Somehow hearing it from a straight-talking bartender had prepared him for Victoria's explanation. 2 hours later, Logan sat in his mother's elegant dining room picking at a quiche while Eleanor Whitmore outlined her damage control plan. "The important thing is to show the world you're not affected," she said, her perfectly coiffed silver hair not moving as she nodded decisively. "You'll attend the Hamilton Foundation Gala next weekend. We'll make sure there are photos of you." Looking confident and composed, Logan's younger brother, Justin, smirked from across the table. "Maybe you can find another socialite to rebound with. That'll really show Victoria." "I'm not interested in rebounding," Logan said firmly. "And I'm not sure I want to attend the gala." Eleanor's expression hardened. "Of course you'll attend. The business depends on these connections. Your father built our name on reliability and strength. People need to see that the Whitmores can't be knocked down by something as trivial as a cancelled wedding." Megan wanted to argue that it wasn't trivial to him, but he knew it would be useless. In his family, appearances had always mattered more than feelings. "Fine," he conceded. "I'll go to the gala." Justin raised his mimosa in a mock toast. "That's the spirit, big brother. Get back on the horse, preferably a hot blonde horse." Logan shot him a warning look. "Don't you have somewhere to be? Like that job I gave you that you barely show up for?" Justin was saved from replying by the arrival of Logan's father, Richard Whitmore, who entered the dining room with his usual commanding presence despite being in his 70s. "There he is," Richard said, clapping Logan on the shoulder before taking his seat at the head of the table. "I saw the statement. Good, short, and dignified. Now, let's talk about the Singapore project. The investors are getting nervous with all this wedding nonsense in the news." And just like that, the conversation shifted to business. Logan's personal crisis relegated to nonsense in the face of a potential business problem. It was the Whitmore way. By evening, Logan felt suffocated by his family's approach to his broken engagement. The only one who had shown any real concern for his feelings was Derek, who had texted him throughout the day with genuinely supportive messages. Almost without conscious decision, Logan found himself driving back to Brooklyn, back to Murphy's bar. He told himself he just wanted a quiet drink where no one would recognize him, but he knew he was hoping to see Sam again. The bar was busier than the previous night, being a Saturday. Logan took a seat at the far end, dressed down in jeans and a simple button-up shirt. He scanned the room, looking for Sam among the staff. Instead, a male bartender approached him. "What can I get you?" Logan hesitated. "Is Sam working tonight?" "Nah. She's off on Saturdays. I'm Mike. What'll you have?" Disappointment washed over Logan. "Just a beer, whatever you have on tap." As Mike served him, Logan wondered what he was doing. Why had he come back here? What had he expected? He was nursing his second beer when a voice behind him said, "You found your way back, I see, Logan." Turned to find Sam standing there, not behind the bar but on the customer side, dressed in worn jeans and a faded band t-shirt instead of her work clothes. "I thought you were off tonight," he said, unable to hide his surprise and pleasure at seeing her. I came to meet some friends." She nodded toward a group at a table near the pool table, but Mike said some guy in designer jeans was asking for me, so I thought I'd better check who's stalking me. Logan felt his face flush. I just... Sam laughed. "Relax, I'm teasing. How are you doing today? Still a jilted groom or moving into bitter ex territory yet?" "Somewhere in between," Logan admitted. "The whole thing is all over the news." Sam winced sympathetically. "Yeah, I may have Googled you this morning. Sorry about that. You're having a rough weekend, Whitmore." "Logan," he corrected her. "And yeah, it's been educational. My family is more concerned about the company image than how I feel." "Sounds about right from what I read about the great Whitmore empire," Sam said. She glanced back at her friends who were watching with obvious curiosity. "Look, do you want to join us? My friends are nosy but nice, and they won't treat you like a headline or a business asset." Logan hesitated. He hadn't planned on socializing, especially not with strangers. But the alternative was drinking alone or going back to his empty apartment. "Sure," he said, picking up his beer. "If you're sure they won't mind. They'll be thrilled. They've never met a real-life billionaire before." "I'm not actually a billionaire," Logan felt compelled to clarify as they walked over. "The company's worth is exaggerated in the press." Sam rolled her eyes. "Oh, well, in that case, maybe they won't be impressed by your mere hundreds of millions." At the table, Sam introduced him simply as Logan, a new friend, to two women and another man. There was Mia, a kindergarten teacher with bright red hair, Danny, a lanky musician who apparently played at the bar sometimes, and Elena, a nurse with an infectious laugh who immediately made room for Logan to sit. "So how do you know our Sam?" Elena asked, her eyes twinkling with curiosity. Before Logan could answer, Sam jumped in. "He came into the bar last night. We got talking." Logan was grateful for her discretion. She hadn't mentioned his wedding disaster, leaving it up to him whether to share that information. "I was having a bad day and Sam was kind enough to listen," he said, "and then feed me pancakes at 1 a.m. "The Blue Star?" Danny asked. "Their pancakes are legendary." The conversation flowed easily after that. They talked about music, movies, neighborhood gossip, normal things that had nothing to do with real estate developments or social status. No one asked what Logan did for a living, and when he offered to buy a round of drinks, they accepted without making a big deal of it. As the night progressed, Logan found himself relaxing more than he had in years. These people had no agenda, no angle they were working. They teased each other mercilessly, told bad jokes and argued passionately about whether pineapple belonged on pizza. Throughout it all, Logan kept finding his attention drawn back to Sam. She was different with her. Friends, more animated, quicker to laugh, less guarded. When she told a story about a difficult customer, her hands moved expressively, her eyes lit up, and Logan couldn't look away. When Danny and Eleanor headed to the pool table for a game, and Mia went to the bar for another round, Logan found himself alone with Sam for a moment. "Thank you for including me," he said. "Your friends are great." "They are," Sam agreed. "They've been my support system through some tough times." "They don't seem impressed by who I am," Logan observed. Sam laughed. "Trust me, they Googled you the minute I walked over to talk to you. They're just cool enough not to make it a thing." "And you, did you really Google me this morning?" Sam nodded, unashamed. "Of course. Had to make sure you weren't some serial killer with a wedding fetish." Logan chuckled, then grew serious. "And what did you think about what you read?" Sam studied him for a moment. "I think the internet knows a lot about Logan Whitmore, real estate mogul, and very little about Logan, the guy who eats pancakes at 1 a.m. and laughs at Danny's terrible jokes." Her answer warmed something inside him. She saw past the headlines, past the wealth, past the carefully crafted public image. "I'd like to get to know Sam better too," he said quietly. "Not just the bartender who was kind to me on the worst night of my life." Sam's expression turned cautious. "Logan, you're on the rebound in a major way. I'm not interested in being someone's distraction from heartbreak." "That's not," Logan began, then stopped himself. Was that what he was doing? Using Sam to distract himself from Victoria's betrayal? "You're right, I am on the rebound, but I genuinely enjoy your company." "Then let's stick with friendship for now," Sam said firmly. "You need time to process what happened, and I need to know that you're interested in me for me, not because I'm the opposite of your ex." Logan nodded, respecting her boundary, even as he felt a twinge of disappointment. Friends, then. The next week passed in a blur of business meetings and damage control. Logan threw himself into work, finding comfort in the familiar challenges of negotiations and planning sessions. The press gradually lost interest in his cancelled wedding as newer scandals emerged. Victoria remained in Paris, her social media suddenly active with photos of cafes and museums, all without a single reference to Logan or what had happened. It was as if their relationship had been erased. His family continued to treat the situation as a minor inconvenience rather than a personal tragedy. His father spoke of it only in terms of how it might affect business relationships. His mother focused on managing the social fallout. Justin made inappropriate jokes. Only Derek showed genuine concern, checking in regularly and offering to listen if Logan wanted to talk. But Logan found his thoughts returning again and again to Sam, to her straight talk and unpretentious warmth. He resisted the urge to go back to Murphy's, respecting her wish for space. Instead, he texted her occasionally, simple messages about his day or asking about hers. She responded in kind, their exchanges friendly but carefully casual. When Saturday came, the day of the Hamilton Foundation Gala, Logan dressed in his tuxedo with a sense of dread. It would be his first public appearance since the wedding disaster, and he knew everyone would be watching, whispering, judging. Just before leaving, he texted Sam, about to face the vultures at a charity gala. "Wish me luck." Her response came quickly. "Remember, they're more afraid of you than you are of them." Or wait, that's bears. Never mind. "Just know your worth isn't defined by what they think." Logan smiled, tucking his phone away. Sam's message gave him the boost he needed to face the evening ahead. The gala was exactly as expected. A sea of designer gowns, expensive jewelry, and carefully crafted social masks. Logan moved through the crowd with practiced ease, accepting condolences with a polite smile and deflecting prying questions with vague answers. "Logan, darling," called a voice he recognized all too well. Cecilia Marsh, Victoria's best friend and maid of honor, air-kissed his cheeks. "You look marvelous. How are you holding up?" "I'm fine, Cecilia," Logan said neutrally. "And you?" "Oh, devastated for both of you, of course," she said, though her eyes gleamed with the excitement of being adjacent to scandal. "Have you spoken to Victoria? She's being so mysterious about everything." "I haven't," Logan said. "If you'll excuse me, I see my mother waving me over." As he made his escape, he noticed a familiar face across the room, one he absolutely did not want to see. Tonight, James Harrington, Victoria's ex-boyfriend, who had mysteriously received an invitation despite the well-known tension between him and Logan. James caught his eye and smirked, raising his champagne glass in a mock toast. Logan felt a surge of anger. Had Victoria left him for James, after all? Was that the real reason for her flight to Paris? Before he could decide whether to confront James or ignore him, his phone buzzed with a text from Sam. "How's it going with the fancy people? Anyone wearing a swan yet?" Despite his anger, Logan found himself smiling. He texted back, "No swans, but plenty of peacocks. I'd rather be eating pancakes." Sam's reply was immediate. "Pancakes are always an option. Blue Star is open 24/7. Looking. Up from his phone, Logan suddenly realized he didn't care about James Harrington or anyone else in this room. Their opinions, their gossip, their social games, none of it mattered. What mattered was being true to himself, something he'd lost sight of in the carefully orchestrated life he'd been living. He found his mother in the crowd. "I'm leaving," he told her simply. Eleanor's perfectly plucked eyebrows rose in alarm. "Leaving? But you've only been here an hour. The Andersons haven't even arrived yet, and they're considering investing in the Chicago project. I'll call them on Monday," Logan said. "Right now, I have somewhere else I need to be." Before his mother could protest further, Logan was striding toward the exit, loosening his bow tie as he went. Outside, he handed the valet his ticket and waited impatiently for his car. As he drove toward Brooklyn, toward the Blue Star Diner, he called Sam. "I'm taking you up on that pancake offer," he said when she answered, "if it's still open." There was a pause, then Sam's voice tinged with surprise and something else, perhaps pleasure. "You left your fancy party? It wasn't where I wanted to be." Another pause. "Blue Star in 30 minutes, she said finally. "But Logan, this is still just friends having pancakes, nothing more." "Understood," he said. But as he navigated through the Saturday night traffic, Logan knew he was already falling for her. This straightforward, no-nonsense woman who saw him for who he really was, friends having pancakes. For now. But maybe once his heart had healed and enough time had passed, they could be something more. The thought made him smile as he drove through the night, leaving behind the world of wealth and status that had never truly made him happy, heading toward a simple diner where, for the first time in years, he felt like himself. Over the next month, Logan found himself spending more and more time in Brooklyn. What had started as just friends having pancakes evolved into movie nights with Sam and her friends, Sunday afternoon walks through Prospect Park, and quiet evenings at Murphy's when Sam was working. Logan would sit at the end of the bar, nursing a single beer for hours, watching Sam interact with customers and occasionally catching her eye when she glanced his way. Sometimes she'd slide him a bowl of pretzels or stop for a quick chat during slower moments. "Don't you have a company to run?" she asked him one Tuesday night, leaning across the bar. "Or did they fire you for spending all your time in a dive bar in Brooklyn?" Logan smiled. "I delegated. And this isn't a dive bar." "How you say that because you've never been in a real dive bar," Sam teased. "Though we're getting closer to that status every time your fancy shoes walk through our door. You're scaring away our regular clientele." "Am I cramping your style?" Logan asked, suddenly concerned. "I can stop coming so often." Sam's expression softened. "I'm kidding, Logan. You're welcome here. Mike even likes you now, which is saying something since he hates most people on principle." At that moment, Logan's phone rang. The screen showed Mother. He silenced it. "Family emergency?" Sam asked, nodding toward the phone. "Just my mother," Logan said, "probably wanting to know if I'll attend some charity function or other." "You can't avoid them forever, you know," Sam said gently. "I'm not avoiding them. I still go to the office every day, attend the necessary meetings. I just need space from the social obligations." Sam studied him for a moment. "That's the third call from your mother you've ignored this week. Maybe you should talk to her." Before Logan could respond, Sam was called away to serve other customers. He watched her work, admiring her efficiency and genuine warmth with the regulars. She treated everyone the same, whether they were construction workers coming off a shift or the occasional hipster who wandered in. When his phone rang again, Logan reluctantly answered. "Finally," Eleanor said. "I was beginning to think you'd disappeared entirely." "I've been busy, Mother. Too busy to return my calls or to attend the Morgenthau's anniversary dinner last weekend. They specifically asked about you." Logan sighed. "I needed some time away from the social circuit." "It's been a month, Logan. Victoria is old news. It's time to get back to normal." "Maybe I don't want to go back to normal," Logan said, watching as Sam laughed at something a customer said. Maybe I'm finding a new normal. There was a pause on the other end of the line. Logan, what exactly have you been doing with yourself? Derek says you leave the office at reasonable hours now, and you're not at your apartment most evenings. I've made some new friends, Logan said vaguely. Friends? His mother's tone was suspicious. What kind of friends? The kind who don't care about my net worth or social connections. Eleanor sighed dramatically. Is this about that bartender? Yes, I know about her. Justin saw you at some diner in Brooklyn a couple of weeks ago. Logan felt a surge of irritation. Her name is Sam, and yes, she's one of my friends. Logan, I understand you're hurt by what Victoria did, but getting involved with some bartender from Brooklyn is not the answer. It's beneath you. Beneath me? Logan's voice rose enough that a few nearby customers glanced his way. He lowered it again. Sam is one of the most genuine, caring people I've ever met. There's nothing beneath me about spending time with her. You know very well what I mean, Eleanor said coldly. You have responsibilities to this family and to the company. You can't just run away to play at being ordinary. I'm not playing at anything, Logan said. For the first time in years, I feel like myself. This conversation is going nowhere, Eleanor declared, but I called for a specific reason. Your father wants you at the board meeting tomorrow. Victoria's father will be there. Logan tensed. What? Why would Charles Ashford be at our board meeting? Because despite your personal drama, business continues. The Ashford Bank is still financing the Singapore project. I'll be there, Logan said tersely, then ended the call. He looked up to find Sam watching him, concern evident in her expression. When her break came, she joined him at the corner of the bar. Everything okay? You looked pretty intense during that call. Logan ran a hand through his hair. My mother knows about you. Apparently, my brothers saw us at the Blue Star a couple weeks ago. Sam raised an eyebrow. And that's a problem because it's not. It's just, she made some judgmental comments about you being beneath me. Sam's expression hardened. Well, she sounds delightful. I'm sorry, Logan said quickly. She's from a different generation, with very rigid ideas about class and status. And what about you? Sam asked, her gaze direct. Do you think I'm beneath you? Of course not, Logan said emphatically. If anything, I'm in awe of you. You've built a life on your own terms. You're talented, smart, and honest in a way people in my world rarely are. Sam's expression softened slightly. Thanks for the character reference, but Logan, your mother's reaction is exactly why this... She gestured between them. Friendship needs to stay just that. Our worlds are too different. They don't have to be, Logan insisted. My world isn't defined by my family's expectations. Isn't it, though? Sam challenged gently. Your whole life is wrapped up in the Whitmore name and legacy. From what I've seen, every decision you make is influenced by that. Logan wanted to argue, but found he couldn't. She wasn't wrong. Even his relationship with Victoria had been partly motivated by what she represented. A suitable match for the Whitmore heir. Maybe it's time that changed, he said finally. Sam smiled sadly. Maybe. But changing your entire life because of... A woman never ends well. Trust me, I've seen it go badly too many times. She glanced at the clock. My break's over. Think about what I said, okay? The next day, Logan sat in the Whitmore Enterprises boardroom, trying to focus on the presentation about the Singapore project. Across the table, Charles Ashford maintained a professional demeanor, as if his daughter hadn't humiliated Logan a month ago. When the presentation ended, Richard Whitmore looked to his son. Logan, you'll be flying to Singapore next week to oversee the final negotiations. Logan nodded. Of course, how long will I be there? 2 weeks minimum, his father replied. Possibly longer if there are complications. After the meeting, Charles approached Logan. I hope there are no hard feelings about Victoria, he said stiffly. Business is business after all, Logan managed. A polite nod. Of course. The project is too important to be affected by personal matters. As Charles walked away, Justin sidled up to Logan. Very diplomatic, big brother. Though personally, I'd have told the old man where to shove his financing after what his daughter did to you. That would be childish and counterproductive, Logan said. Justin shrugged. Speaking of childish, are you still slumming it in Brooklyn? With that bartender? Logan gave his brother a warning look. Don't talk about her like that. Whoa, touchy. Justin held up his hands. She must be something special to have you this defensive. She is, Logan said simply. And her name is Sam. Justin studied him with sudden interest. You're really into her, aren't you? This isn't just some rebound fling. It's not a fling at all, we're friends, Justin laughed. Right, because you regularly ditch high society events to hang out with friends in diners. He clapped Logan on the shoulder. Well, enjoy your little Brooklyn adventure while it lasts. But we both know you'll be back to dating socialites once you've got Victoria out of your system. Logan shook his head. You don't understand, Justin. Sam is... He struggled to find the right words. She's real in a way most people in our circle aren't. If you say so, Justin said skeptically. Just don't bring her to Mother's birthday dinner next month. I don't think the family is ready for that level of real yet. That evening, Logan waited outside Murphy's bar. Sam had texted that she got off work at 8, and he wanted to tell her about his upcoming trip. When she emerged, her face lit up with surprise. Logan, what are you doing here? I wanted to see you, he said simply. Can we get dinner? There's something I need to tell you. They walked to a small Italian restaurant nearby. After they ordered, Logan explained about his trip to Singapore. 2 weeks, Sam said. That's a long business trip. It could be longer, Logan admitted. The negotiations are complex. Sam nodded, twirling pasta around her fork. Well, it's a good opportunity to get some space. Clear your head. Space from what? Logan asked, confused. Sam looked at him directly. From whatever this is between us. Logan, I've seen how you look at me. I know we said just friends, but it's becoming more than that for you, isn't it? Logan didn't deny it. Yes, I have feelings for you, Sam. I've tried to respect your boundaries, but I can't pretend those feelings aren't there. Sam sighed. I care about you too, more than I should. But Logan, think about today. Your mother looks down on me. Your brother mocks your time with me. How long before the reality of our different worlds becomes too much? That's their problem, not ours, Logan insisted. Is it? Sam challenged. What happens when you bring me to a work function? Or introduce me to your business associates? Will you be proud to say, this is Sam, she tends bar at Murphy's in Brooklyn? Yes, Logan said without hesitation. I would be proud to introduce you to anyone. And what about me? Sam asked quietly. I'm not comfortable in your world, Logan. I don't fit there, and I don't want to try to fit. Logan reached across the table, taking her hand. Then we create our own world, one where neither of us has to pretend to be something we're not. Sam looked at their joined hands. It's not that simple. It can be, Logan insisted. Look, I'll be gone for 2 weeks. Think about it while I'm away. All I'm asking is that you give us a chance, a real chance, not just friendship. Sam was quiet for a long moment. I'll think about it, she finally said. But no promises. On his last night, before leaving for Singapore, Logan found himself at Sam's apartment for the first time. She had invited him over for dinner, saying she wanted to cook for him before his trip. Her apartment was small but charming, a one-bedroom in an old brownstone, filled with colorful furniture and art. Paintings covered the walls, vibrant landscapes, abstract compositions and intimate portraits. Are these all yours? Logan asked, examining a particularly striking cityscape. Sam nodded, seeming almost shy. Most of them. I told you I still paint. Sam, these are incredible, Logan said, genuinely impressed. You should be showing these in galleries, she shrugged. Maybe someday, for now they're just for me. She gestured toward the kitchen. Dinner's almost ready. Make yourself comfortable. Over a simple but delicious pasta dish, they talked about Logan's trip, the project details, the challenges ahead, his previous visits to Singapore. It was easy, comfortable, as it always was between them. After dinner, they moved to Sam's small balcony, which overlooked a quiet street. The night was warm, with a gentle breeze that carried the sounds of the neighborhood, distant music, conversations, the occasional car passing by. I'm going to miss this, Logan said, looking out at the Brooklyn night. Miss you. Sam turned to face him. Logan, I've been thinking a lot about what you said, about giving us a real chance. And? Logan's heart quickened. And I'm scared, she admitted. Scared that we're too different. Scared that you'll eventually realize I don't belong in your world. Scared that this is still just a reaction to Victoria leaving you. Logan took her hands in his. I understand why you're scared. But I need you to know something. What I feel for you isn't about Victoria. It's not about rebounding or distraction. It's about you. Your honesty, your kindness. The way you see me as just Logan, not the Whitmore heir. Sam's eyes searched his. Can you honestly say that if Victoria came back tomorrow, begging for another chance, you wouldn't be tempted? Victoria. Coming back is the last thing I want, Logan said firmly. What we had wasn't real. She didn't love me for me. She loved what I represented. And I think deep down I knew that. But I ignored it because she fit the image of what my family expected. Sam was quiet, still looking uncertain. You know what I realized? Logan continued. The day she left me at the altar might have been the luckiest day of my life, because it led me to you. Sam shook her head, but she was smiling now. That's a pretty cheesy line, Whitmore. But it's true, Logan insisted. Meeting you opened my eyes to how artificial my life had become, how I was living to meet everyone else's expectations instead of my own. And what are your expectations now? Sam asked softly. To be happy, Logan said simply. To be with someone who challenges me, who makes me laugh, who sees the real me. Sam took a deep breath. Okay. Okay? I'll give us a chance. A real chance. She held up a warning finger. But we take it slow. And we need to be honest with each other about our doubts, our fears, everything. Logan felt a surge of joy. I can do slow, and honest is the only way I want to be with you. Sam smiled, then reached up to touch his face gently. You should know, I don't usually fall for guys in designer suits who get abandoned at the altar. And I don't usually fall for straight-talking bartenders who serve me pancakes at 1 a.m., Logan returned, smiling as he leaned closer. Their first kiss was gentle, tentative at first, then deepening, as they both gave in to feelings that had been building for weeks. When they finally pulled apart, Sam's eyes were shining and Logan felt a happiness he hadn't experienced in years, maybe ever. 2 weeks, Sam reminded him. That's a long time to think about where this goes next. I already know where I want it to go, Logan said, but I can wait for you to be sure too. As he held her in the warm Brooklyn night, Logan felt as if all the pieces of his life were finally falling into place. The pain of Victoria's betrayal, the pressure of his family's expectations, the emptiness of his carefully constructed world, all of it seemed distant and unimportant now. What mattered was this moment, this woman, and the chance they were giving each other. 2 days into his Singapore trip, Logan was in the middle of a meeting when his assistant handed him a note. Urgent call from your brother. Excusing himself, Logan stepped out to return the call. Justin, what's going on? Victoria's back, Justin said without preamble. She showed up at Mother's charity luncheon today. Logan felt a strange detachment, as if Justin was talking about someone he barely knew. And? Why is this urgent? Because she's asking about you, saying she made a terrible mistake. Mother invited her to dinner tonight to discuss things. There's nothing to discuss, Logan said firmly. Victoria made her choice. I've moved on. With the bartender? Justin asked, skeptically. Her name is Sam, Logan said, irritation creeping into his voice. And yes, with Sam. Well, you might want to tell Victoria that. She seems to think she can waltz back into your life and pick up where you left off. After ending the call, Logan immediately texted Sam, Victoria's back in town, apparently looking to reconnect. Just wanted you to hear it from me first. Nothing to worry about. I know what I want, and it's you. Hours later, when his meetings finally ended, Logan checked his phone. No response from Sam. He called her, but it went straight to voicemail. Sam, it's me. I'm guessing you're at work and busy. Just wanted to make sure you got my text about Victoria. Call me when you can. I miss you. But the next day passed with no word from Sam. Logan tried calling again, texting again, nothing. By the third day, worry had turned to panic. This wasn't like Sam. Even when busy, she always responded eventually. He called Danny, the only one of Sam's friends whose number he had. "Hey, Logan," Danny answered. "How's Singapore?" "Fine. Listen, have you seen Sam? I can't reach her." Danny hesitated. "Yeah, she was at Murphy's last night, seemed distracted. Did she mention me or getting my messages?" Another hesitation. "Look, man, I don't want to get in the middle of anything." "Danny, please, I'm worried." Danny sighed. "She got your message about Victoria and then apparently saw some photos online of Victoria at your family's house, looking very much like she was being welcomed back. Sam said something about not wanting to be a placeholder until your real life resumed." Logan felt his heart sink. "That's ridiculous. Victoria means nothing to me now. Maybe you should tell Sam that, in person, when you get back." "That's a week away," Logan said. "Can you at least tell her to call me? Tell her there's been a misunderstanding." "I'll try," Danny promised, but Sam can be stubborn when she feels hurt. After hanging up, Logan did something he'd never done before. He called his assistant and told her to reschedule the rest of his meetings in Singapore. He was going home early, because one thing had become crystal clear. No business deal, no family expectation, no obligation of any kind was more important than setting things right with Sam. He only hoped he wasn't already too late. Logan arrived at JFK after a grueling 20-hour flight, exhausted but determined. The moment he cleared customs, he called Sam again, still straight to voicemail. "Sam, I'm back in New York. We need to talk. Please call me." His driver met him at arrivals. "Home, sir?" "No," Logan said, checking his watch. It was just after 7 p.m. "Take me to Murphy's bar in Brooklyn." As the car navigated through evening traffic, Logan tried to ignore his fatigue. All he could think about was seeing Sam, explaining in person that Victoria meant nothing to him. When they finally reached Murphy's, Logan practically jumped out of the car. "Wait here," he told the driver. Inside, the bar was moderately busy. For a weeknight, Logan scanned the room looking for Sam behind the bar. Instead, he saw Mike mixing drinks. "Mike," Logan said, approaching the bar. "Is Sam working tonight?" Mike gave him a cool look. "She took a few days off." "Do you know where she is?" "I really need to talk to her." "Look, man, I like you, but Sam's my friend, and she's been through enough. That's why I need to see her," Logan insisted. "There's been a misunderstanding." Mike studied him for a moment, then seemed to make a decision. "Try Elena's. Sam sometimes crashes there when she needs space." "Elena? I don't have her address." Mike sighed, then grabbed a napkin and scribbled on it. "Don't make me regret this." 20 minutes later, Logan stood outside a walk-up apartment building in Williamsburg. He found Elena's name on the buzzer and pressed it, heart pounding. "Hello?" Elena's voice crackled through the intercom. "Eleanor, it's Logan Whitmore. I'm looking for Sam." There was a long pause. "She doesn't want to see you, Logan." "Please," Logan said, not caring that he was begging. "I just need 5 minutes to explain." Another pause, then a sigh. "Fine. Third floor, apartment 3B. The buzzer sounded, and Logan rushed inside. He took the stairs 2 at a time, driven by a desperate need to set things right. Elena was waiting at her apartment door, arms crossed. "She's really upset, Logan." "I know, but she's got it all wrong." Eleanor stepped aside to let him in. "She's in the living room." Logan entered to find Sam curled up on a couch, wearing sweatpants and an oversized t-shirt, her hair pulled back in a messy ponytail. She looked up, her eyes widening at the sight of him. "What are you doing here? You're supposed to be in Singapore." "I came back early," Logan said. "Because of you." Elena cleared her throat. "I'll give you two some privacy," she said, retreating to what Logan assumed was her bedroom. Logan sat on the edge of a coffee table across from Sam. "You haven't been answering my calls." "I needed time to think," Sam said, her voice flat. "And then I saw the photos." "What photos?" "Victoria at your family's house, looking very cozy with your mother. There was even one of her hugging your brother." Logan ran a hand through his hair in frustration. "Justin didn't tell me she was there. I had no idea until he called me in Singapore, and the moment I found out, I texted you." "It doesn't matter," Sam said, looking away. "This just confirms what I've been afraid of all along. Our worlds are too different, Logan. Victoria fits into yours, I don't. You're wrong, Logan said vehemently. Victoria doesn't fit into my world. She fits into my family's idea of what my world should be. But that's not what I want anymore. Sam finally looked at him, her eyes searching his face. Logan, be honest with yourself. You were ready to marry her 2 months ago. Your entire life was built around that world. The galas, the society pages, the business connections. Can you really walk away from all that? I'm not walking away from my business or my family, Logan said. But I am walking away from letting them dictate my personal happiness. He leaned forward, taking her hands in his. Sam, these past weeks with you have been the most real, most genuine time of my adult life. I'm not giving that up. Sam's expression remained guarded. And Victoria, if she wants you back? I don't want her back, Logan said firmly. I never want to see her again, honestly. Whatever I thought I felt for her wasn't real. It wasn't like this. Like what? Like how I feel about you. Scared, excited, challenged, seen. Logan squeezed her hands. I love you, Sam. I didn't plan it, and God knows the timing is terrible, but it's true. Sam's eyes widened. Logan, you can't just say that. Why not? It's true. I love you. I love your straightforwardness. I love how you don't let me get away with anything. I love watching you work, seeing how you care about people without making a show of it. I love your talent that you hide away because you're afraid of rejection. Logan took a deep breath. I even love that you ran away instead of confronting. Me about Victoria because it means you care enough to be hurt. Tears welled in Sam's eyes. That's not fair. You can't make me crying sound romantic. Logan smiled slightly. Is it working? A tear slipped down Sam's cheek. I saw those pictures and it hit me how much I care about you. How much it would hurt to lose you. And it terrified me because I've spent years protecting myself from exactly this kind of pain. You're not going to lose me, Logan promised. Not to Victoria, not to my family's expectations, not to anything. How can you be sure? Sam asked. Your whole life is tied up in their world. Because I'm choosing you, Logan said simply, and I'll keep choosing you every day no matter what. Sam was quiet for a long moment, studying his face as if looking for any sign of hesitation or doubt. Finally, she said softly, I love you too, and it scares me to death. Logan felt his heart soar. He moved from the coffee table to the couch, gathering Sam in his arms. She fit there perfectly, as if made to be held by him. We'll figure it out, he promised, kissing her hair. Day by day. Later that night, they were curled up on Elena's couch, Logan having called his driver hours ago to say he wouldn't be needing their ride home. They had talked for hours, making plans, addressing fears, being honest in a way neither had been in previous relationships. You know, Sam said, her head resting on Logan's chest, we still have a major hurdle to overcome. What's that? I need to meet your family properly, and based on what you've told me, that's not going to be pretty. Logan tensed slightly. We don't have to rush that. Sam lifted her head to look at him. Yes, we do. If we're serious about this, about us, then we have to face the hard parts head on. No hiding, no avoiding. Logan knew she was right. My mother's birthday dinner is next week. It's a family tradition, always held at the house I grew up in. Perfect, Sam said, though she looked nervous. I'll be there. You sure? My family can be difficult. Sam smiled wryly. I handle drunk. Wall Street guys every weekend. I think I can handle the Whitmores. The following week was a whirlwind. Logan officially ended the Singapore negotiations remotely, delegating the final in-person meetings to his trusted VP. He moved most of his belongings from the penthouse he'd shared with Victoria to his company apartment, planning to look for a new place soon, perhaps something in Brooklyn. Sam returned to work at Murphy's, though she spent most nights with Logan. They fell into an easy rhythm together, as if they'd been a couple for years rather than days. The night of Eleanor Whitmore's birthday dinner arrived all too quickly. Logan picked Sam up in his car, smiling appreciatively at the simple but elegant navy blue dress she wore. You look beautiful, he said, kissing her gently. I'm nervous, Sam admitted, as they drove toward the exclusive suburb, where the Whitmore family estate was located. I keep thinking I should have brought my bartending uniform as backup in case I need to pretend I'm serving the drinks. Logan laughed, taking her hand. Just be yourself, that's all I want. And if your mother hates me, then she hates you, Logan said simply. It doesn't change how I feel. As they pulled through the gates of the sprawling Whitmore estate, Sam's eyes widened. You grew up here? This isn't a house, it's a small country. Logan smiled wryly. It always felt more like a museum than a home. Every room perfect, nothing out of place. In the grand foyer, a maid took their coats while Logan's stomach knotted with anxiety. He could hear voices from the formal living. Our room ready? He asked Sam. She squared her shoulders and nodded. As I'll ever be. Logan guided her into the living room, where his family was gathered for pre-dinner drinks. His father stood by the fireplace, deep in conversation with a business associate. Justin lounged on a sofa, drink in hand, and Eleanor held court in the center of the room, looking regal in an expensive gown. Mother, Logan said, approaching her. Happy birthday. Eleanor turned, her practiced smile faltering slightly when she saw Sam. Logan. Darling, we were beginning to think you wouldn't make it. I wouldn't miss it, Logan said. Mother, I'd like you to meet Samantha Brooks. Sam, this is my mother, Eleanor. Sam stepped forward, extending her hand. It's a pleasure to meet you. Mrs. Whitmore, happy birthday. Eleanor took Sam's hand briefly, her smile not reaching her eyes. How kind of you to join us. Logan mentioned he'd made some new friends. Sam is more than a friend, Mother, Logan said firmly. We're together. A brief silence fell over the nearby guests who overheard. Eleanor's smile became even more strained. How lovely, she said, her tone suggesting it was anything but. Richard, come meet Logan's special friend. Logan's father approached, giving Sam a quick assessment. Miss Brooks, is it? What line of work are you in? I'm a bartender at Murphy's in Brooklyn, Sam said, her chin lifting slightly. A bartender, Richard repeated, as if the word tasted strange. How industrious. Sam is also an incredibly talented artist, Logan added, though she's too modest to admit it. Before the conversation could continue, Justin sauntered over, drink in hand. So this is the famous Sam I've heard so much about. I'm Justin, the fun brother. To Logan's relief, Sam smiled genuinely at Justin. Nice to finally meet you. Logan's told me all about you. All bad, I hope, Justin said with a wink. Oh, absolutely terrible, Sam replied, making Justin laugh. I like her already, Justin declared to Logan. Much more fun than Victoria. At the mention of Victoria's name, Eleanor's expression soured further. Speaking of Victoria, she sends her regrets that she couldn't join us tonight. Logan stared at his mother in disbelief. You invited Victoria to your birthday dinner? Of course, Eleanor said, as if it were perfectly normal. She's practically family. This unfortunate wedding. Delay doesn't change that. It wasn't a delay, Mother. The wedding is off permanently. Victoria left me at the altar, remember? Eleanor waved a dismissive hand. A momentary panic. She's apologized profusely. To you, maybe. Not to me. Logan could feel his temper rising. And it doesn't matter anyway because I'm with Sam now. Eleanor glanced at Sam, then back to Logan. This phase will pass, dear. When you're ready to be serious again, Victoria will be waiting. Sam squeezed Logan's hand, a silent reminder to stay calm. He took a deep breath. This isn't a phase, Mother. Sam is the woman I love. If you can't accept that, then we have a problem. Eleanor's smile disappeared entirely. Don't be dramatic, Logan. We're having a family dinner. Yes, we are, Logan agreed. And Sam is here as my guest, my partner. If you can't treat her with respect, we'll leave. A tense silence fell. Richard cleared his throat. Let's not make a scene. Dinner is about to be served. In the formal dining room, Sam was seated as far from Eleanor as possible, next to Justin. Logan sat across from her, with his father at the head of the table and Eleanor at the foot. The conversation during dinner was strained, with Eleanor making pointed comments about proper upbringing and suitable matches. Each time Logan would catch Sam's eye, silently apologizing. Each time she'd give him a small smile or a subtle wink, letting him know she was okay. After dessert, when the guests moved to the terrace for coffee, Sam excused herself to use the restroom. When she didn't return after 15 minutes, Logan went looking for her. He found her in his father's study, examining the family photos on the wall. "Sorry," she said when she saw him. "I needed a breather, and then I got curious." "Are you okay?" Logan asked, moving to stand beside her. "My mother was being horrible." "I've dealt with worse customers," Sam said, but her voice lacked its usual confidence. "Is that you?" She pointed to a photo of a serious-looking boy in a prep school. "Uniform, yeah, age 12. Not exactly a happy childhood memory." Sam studied the photo. "You look so serious even then." "I was raised to be serious, to always represent the Whitmore name with dignity and restraint." Sam turned to him. "Logan, I meant what I said about facing the hard parts. But tonight has made one thing very clear. I don't belong in this world." Logan felt a surge of panic. "Sam, let me finish," she said gently. "I don't belong in this world, and I don't want to belong in it. I like my life. In Brooklyn, I like tending bar and painting in my little studio. I like pizza at midnight and walks in Prospect Park." "I like those things too," Logan said. "With you." "I know," Sam nodded. "But the question is, can you be happy in my world? Because I can't be happy in yours." Before Logan could answer, the study door opened. Eleanor stood there, her expression cold. "There you are, the guests are asking for you, Logan." "We'll be out in a minute, Mother." Eleanor didn't leave. Instead, she looked directly at Sam. "I think we need to have a frank conversation, Miss Brooks." Sam straightened her shoulders. "I agree, Mrs. Whitmore." "Mother, this isn't the time," Logan warned. "It's exactly the time," Eleanor said. "Before this goes any further." She turned her attention back to Sam. "I'm sure you're a lovely person in your own way, but you must realize that Logan has responsibilities, expectations. The Whitmore name means something in this city." "I'm well aware of who Logan is," Sam said calmly. "Are you?" "Because this little adventure he's having with you could seriously damage his reputation, his business relationships." "Mother, stop," Logan said sharply. "No, Logan, she needs to hear this," Eleanor insisted. "Victoria comes from a family that understands our world. She had a momentary lapse in judgment, but she's prepared to put it behind them. She's suitable in a way that, forgive me, a bartender from Brooklyn simply isn't." Sam looked at Eleanor steadily. "Mrs. Whitmore, I understand your concern for your son, but with all due respect, Logan is a grown man who can make his own choices about who he wants in his life. Young lady, you have no idea." "Actually, I do," Sam interrupted, her voice firm but not disrespectful. "I know exactly what you're afraid of. You're afraid Logan will choose a life that doesn't revolve around appearances and status. You're afraid he'll be happy without all of this." She gestured to the grand room around them. "And maybe that's why you're so eager to push him back to Victoria, because she represents everything you value." Eleanor looked stunned at being interrupted, then furious. "How dare you presume to know what I think or value?" "I dare because I love your son," Sam said simply. "Not his money, not his name, not his status, just him." Logan moved to stand beside Sam, taking her hand. "Mother, I didn't come here tonight looking for your approval. I came to introduce you to the woman I love. Whether you accept that or not is your choice, but it won't change mine." Eleanor's eyes narrowed. "And what choice is that, exactly?" "To be with Sam, to build a life with her, a real life, not the artificial one I've been living. And your responsibilities to this family. To the company? I'll continue to run the company. I'll continue to be your son, but I won't continue to let you dictate my personal happiness." Eleanor looked between them, then sighed dramatically. "You're making a terrible mistake." "Maybe," Logan conceded, "but it's my mistake to make. And when this infatuation ends, when you realize you've thrown away a suitable match for a—" "That's enough," Logan cut her off. "We're leaving. Enjoy the rest of your birthday, Mother." As they drove away from the Whitmore estate, Sam was quiet, staring out the window. "I'm sorry," Logan said finally. "She was worse than I expected." "It's not your fault," Sam said, turning to look at him. "And honestly, I'm kind of glad it happened." "Glad? How?" Because now I know what we're up against, and I know we can handle it. Logan reached for her hand. We can. Together. But Logan, what I said in the study, I meant it. I can't live in your world. I won't change who I am to fit into some mold your family thinks is appropriate. I would never ask you to, Logan said, which is why I've been thinking about something. A compromise. What kind of compromise? I'm still going to run Whitmore. Enterprises, that's my responsibility, and honestly, I'm good at it. But I don't need to live the rest of the Whitmore Air lifestyle. Meaning I'm thinking of buying a brownstone in Brooklyn, maybe not far from Murphy's if the bartender I'm in love with thinks that might be a good idea. Sam's eyes widened. You want to live in Brooklyn? What about your penthouse, your company apartment? I'll keep the company apartment for late nights at the office. The penthouse has too many memories of Victoria anyway. Logan glanced at her. What do you think? Could you see us sharing a place someday? Not right away, but eventually? A slow smile spread across Sam's face. I think I could. Especially if this brownstone has enough space for a proper art studio. I'm sure we could arrange that, Logan said, grinning. And maybe a home office for me for days when I don't feel like crossing the bridge into Manhattan. Your mother would hate it, Sam pointed out. Probably. But she'll come around eventually, and if she doesn't, Logan shrugged, then she'll miss out on being part of our life together. As they crossed the bridge back to Brooklyn, the Manhattan skyline glittering behind them, Sam leaned over and kissed Logan's cheek. I love you, Logan Whitmore. Even if your mother thinks I'm utterly unsuitable, especially because my mother thinks you're utterly unsuitable, Logan corrected with a smile. And I love you, Samantha Brooks, more than I ever thought possible. 6 months later, on a crisp fall evening, friends and family gathered in the backyard of a beautifully restored Brooklyn brownstone. Fairy lights twinkled in the trees, and a makeshift gallery had been set up along one wall, displaying Sam's artwork. It was their housewarming party, but also the opening night of Sam's first art show. Through Logan's encouragement, she had finally agreed to let a small gallery in Williamsburg display her paintings, and 3 had sold on opening night. Logan stood at the grill, cooking burgers and chatting with Danny and Eleanor. His brother Justin was there too, having become a regular visitor to Brooklyn once he discovered he enjoyed the more relaxed atmosphere away from their parents' scrutiny. Sam moved through the crowd, a glass of wine in hand, introducing Logan's business associates to her friends, from Murphy's with easy confidence. Mike was tending bar, having taken the night off to serve drinks at what he called Sam and Rich Guy's Big Night. Notably absent were Logan's parents, who had declined the invitation with a formal note citing previous commitments. Derek appeared at Logan's side. Great party, man, and Sam's artwork is incredible. You were right about her talent. I know, Logan said proudly, watching as Sam laughed with a group of guests. She's amazing. You seem happy, Derek observed. Happier than I've ever seen you, actually. I am, Logan agreed. For the first time in my life, I feel like I'm living authentically. No pretense, no facades. Victoria asked about you, by the way, Derek said. At the Henderson Gala last week. How is she? Logan asked, surprised to find he felt nothing but mild curiosity. Fine, I guess, dating some European count or something. Derek studied his friend. You really don't care, do you? Not in the slightest, Logan confirmed. Best thing she ever did was leave me at that altar. The doorbell rang, audible even in the backyard. Sam caught Logan's eye and mouthed, I'll get it. A few minutes later, she returned to the yard, accompanied by 2 unexpected guests, Richard and Eleanor Whitmore. A hush fell over the nearby guests as Logan stared in shock. He handed the grill tongs to Derek and walked over. Mother, father, I thought you couldn't make it. We reconsidered, Richard said stiffly. Your mother wanted to see your new home. Eleanor looked around, her expression carefully neutral. It's charming. Sam stepped forward. Mrs. Whitmore, let me show you around. We've just finished renovating the kitchen, and the art studio is coming along nicely. To Logan's surprise, his mother nodded and followed Sam inside. Richard moved to the bar, where Justin greeted him with obvious shock. Logan followed Sam and his mother, catching up to them in the newly renovated kitchen. "And we kept the original moldings but updated everything else," Sam was saying, pointing out features of the space. Eleanor nodded. "You have good taste. This maintains the character, while making it functional." Sam smiled. That was the goal. "Would you like to see the rest?" "Please," Eleanor said, then noticed Logan hovering in the doorway. "Your home is lovely, Logan. Different from what I expected, but lovely." Coming from Eleanor, this was high praise. Indeed. Logan exchanged a surprised glance with Sam. The tour continued through the house, ending in Sam's art studio, where several unfinished canvases stood on easels. "These are yours?" Eleanor asked, examining a half-completed cityscape. "Yes," Sam said. "I'm working on a series about Brooklyn." Eleanor studied the painting. "You're very talented. I can see why Logan speaks so highly of your work." "Thank you," Sam said, clearly surprised by the compliment. Eleanor turned to face them both. "I owe you an apology, Sam. And you, Logan, I was harsh at my birthday dinner." "Mother, you don't have to—" "Yes, I do," Eleanor interrupted. "I was wrong. I was so focused on what I thought was best for you that I couldn't see what actually makes you happy." She glanced at Sam. "Who makes you happy?" Sam and Logan exchanged another shocked look. "What changed your mind?" Logan asked. "Your father and I ran into Victoria in the Hamptons last weekend. She was, not as I remembered her, very focused on appearances, on who was watching, who would take her picture." Eleanor sighed. "It made me think about what you said about living authentically. Plus," she added with a small smile, "Justin wouldn't stop talking about how much fun he has when he visits you here. He says you laugh more now than you have in years." Logan was speechless. Sam stepped into the silence. "Mrs. Whitmore, would you like a glass of wine? We have a lovely Cabernet open." "Eleanor, please," Logan's mother corrected. "And yes, that would be nice." As they rejoined the party in the backyard, Logan watched in amazement as his mother accepted a glass of wine from Mike, complimented Elena on her dress, and even laughed at one of Danny's jokes. Sam sidled up beside him. "Did your mother just get body snatched? Because the woman who called me unsuitable 6 months ago is currently discussing art with my friends." Logan put his arm around her. "I think she's finally seeing what I saw the night we met, that there's more to life than appearances and status. Or she's plotting to have me kidnapped and replaced with a more suitable version," Sam suggested, making Logan laugh. "Either way, it's progress," he said, pulling her close. As the evening continued, with Manhattan's lights twinkling across the river and their eclectic mix of friends and family mingling in their backyard, Logan felt a profound sense of contentment. This was the life he wanted, authentic, warm, full of love and laughter. Not the life that had been planned for him, but the one he had chosen for himself. "Happy?" Sam asked, looking up at him. "Incredibly," Logan replied, leaning down to kiss her. "Who would have thought that getting left at the altar would be the luckiest day of my life?" Sam smiled against his lips. "Sometimes the best love is the one that comes after." And in that moment, surrounded by their worlds that had somehow blended into one, Logan knew with absolute certainty that the love that came after was the one that would last forever. The end.